Okay, I think we're live. You want to take it, Mr. Dr. Dice?
Yeah, we're okay. Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Dwayne Dice, and I'm the chair for the Education Task Force, Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force. This is another edition of EduTalk, Diaspora Engagement. And to roll us off, I want to say a special welcome back to my co-host, Mr. Leo Gilling. Welcome again. I shouldn't even say welcome because we're always here together. Only for a few weeks he wasn't here. So I want to say welcome everybody, viewers all around the world. This is EduTalk, where we highlight certain features across our diaspora in the education network as it is. So I want to, before we go to our guest, I want my co-host to say a few words here, Mr. Gillen, and then we'll get some introductions around our platform here.
Well, thank you, Dr. Dice. Me never know say you would get to me. Lord, Jesus.
All right, Leo.
This is Leo Gilling. Back to you. I've been off the air since August something, and I promised to get back here the end of October somewhere, but my fingers have been twisted and pushed against the wall to come back to EduTalk. So I'm back here this evening. Welcome everybody. If you are in London, UK, if you're in Canada, if you're in USA or in Jamaica, welcome to all of you. And welcome. We're going to be talking this evening to some principals across Jamaica. We have Mr. Albert Green, and he's from Cumberland High School. Darian Henry, and he's
Hold on, Leo. No.
Did I do that wrong?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Darian Henry, Mr.
Darian Henry. What did I say? I was just trying to catch you up. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know. Darian Henry. And he's from Mavis Bank High School. He's the vice principal.
No.
Hold on. So Mr. Henry is
so Darian is from Cumberland.
Yes.
So you see, we cause a lot of problems when you come on the show. By the time we run, everybody will know who is who. All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So let's start that one more time. Darian Henry from Cumberland.
Yes.
High School. And then Albert Green from Mavis Bank High School. And then we also have Mr. Speed, Principal Speed, coming on later on to join us on the show. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. We're going to have a great time this evening talking about the gaps and the challenges and all the problems that you're having and all the good things that you're doing also. So not just problems, all right? Welcome.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Sir Leo.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to go around the room here and get some introductions because people want to know where you're from, gentlemen. What sort of school population you have, and how you got into the position there, how many years you served there. So take a few minutes to explain this to everyone so that they have a platform that they can start thinking about your background to your answers to questions. Okay, let's start off with Mr. Henry from Cumberland High. Mr. Henry, give us an introduction of yourself, and we're very happy that you can join us this evening. So take it away with your introduction.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Dice. Thank you so much for inviting me on your program this afternoon, and my co-host, my co-principals, Mr. Speed, Mr. Edwards. Good to have you. Thank you so much for inviting me in this forum. I've always seen your work, and I must congratulate you for at least telegraphing the issues of education at a time like this. My name is Darian Henry. I'm principal of Cumberland High School. This is my 4th year as the headmaster of that institution. We're a grade 3 government-owned institution. We cater to 947 students, a co-educational institution. We have 57 teachers, and certainly COVID-19 has really challenged us. But in spite of what is happening, we are really rising to what is happening, the challenges of COVID. We have established our virtual classrooms. We're interacting on a daily basis with our children. Our teachers are working hard. There are gaps, but we are working overtime to fill those gaps. I must say, very importantly, Dr. Dice, that our school has been undergoing tremendous transformation. It was a school that was determined as a failing school, one of Jamaica's notoriously failing school. But over the last 3 years, we have made significant strides in leadership and in rebranding our school. Discipline has certainly improved in all its dimension. And certainly even before COVID, we have been making significant strides on the academic front. A lot of students who are coming in unable to read and unable to compute, they were able to be making significant progress. So I must say, thank you so much for being on here, that the world can understand the transformation story behind Cumberland High School.
All right, we'll get to you, get back to you in a few minutes after we get to the other gentleman. Go ahead and take it.
Yes, thank you, Sir Edwards and Dr. Dice. Thanks for inviting me on your program, and also to my colleague, Darian. Mr. Speed is not here yet, but I extended that also to him. Mary's Bank High School started in 1989. It started out as a secondary vocational school. At the time, the population was 60. To date, we have 520 students enrolled. It is a rural school in the hills of St. Andrew. And the concept behind the whole implementation of the Mavis Bank High School was to really stem the level of urban drifting, right? So that institution was set up there. But during the time where we were going through several changes in the educational system, it was upgraded to a high school. Mavis Bank has 28 members of staff on the teaching staff, 32 on the support staff, and we are doing pretty well. Our exam passes in CSEC stood out well for us. On the other hand, with the transformation of COVID, we have put in place in September where the government protocols for the hand wash stations, sanitization station, isolation area, and we are now at school virtual. We put in place the distant learning. We're using the Google Classroom, we're using Zoom, just about what is available to us. There are challenges though. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
We can hear you good. We can hear you very well.
Yes, there are some challenges that we now face, and we are hoping that we will address those in a short version.
Very much.
So
great.
Yeah.
Mr. Speed, are you there? He's not come to the table.
Can unmute him.
All right, no, I think
Mr. Speed, if you're having trouble with the band, just log out and log back in, and we'll get you on the air. Okay. All right. Leo, we can move forward with
Mr.
this.
Henry.
When you get to it.
Yeah, Mr. Henry. I am the kind of guy, who like to find out, from the diaspora. We look at what challenges that Jamaica has, and we customize our interventions for Jamaica in whatever we do, whichever area.
Yes.
So you can tell us, because I know what you were doing pre-COVID. We know you were off for like 6 or 7 months, right? Right. You must have been somewhat excited to get back into school. Tell us about your first week in school and what has happened as a result of the first week, your first day, first 2 days, and then what has happened coming down or going up. Tell us what's going on.
Interesting question.
Yes.
I was talking to some colleagues. Welcome, President Speed. Good to see you.
Yes, yes.
I was talking to some colleagues earlier today, and we were really
Principal
reflecting
Speed.
on the startup.
It's Principal Speed.
Hold on, Mr. Henry.
You're my president for life, Mr. Speed. Don't worry about that. Yes, as I was saying, I was talking to some colleagues earlier today, and we're reflecting, doing a postmortem of what transpired leading up to the start of the school year. And then asked me, what did I do at Cumberland? Why am I not stressed and all of that? Well, I told them that we were planning for online education from as far back as June of this year, when the school system was open for limited interaction for preparing students for CSEC examinations. Yes, I know Mr. Speed was president at the time, and he made that clarion call for the system to have really adjusted in a transformational and significant way so that we can get teachers and students prepared for the online arena. But what COVID has done is really exposed some of the maladies that we have been talking about for many, many years. Yes, and these maladies really coalesce around access and equity. And that's one of the biggest issues impacting a lot of schools, a lot of children, a lot of our teachers as we speak. Yes, we did a survey among our children because we have children who come from mostly the swath of the lower income strata of society. We have parents who struggle to send their children to school. One of the biggest challenge we have is that many of our children do not have access to any kind of device whatsoever. We did a survey, for example, and we found that 45% of our children, yes, have parents who carry the device to work when they leave in the days. That's one. Two, there's another dynamic. And I was telling a team meeting today, I had to intervene in a family dispute last week where there's one device to serve for 6 members of the family, yes, including 5 children. But what happened? My child, my student who comes to Cumberland, was the last to get access to the device because what? His siblings go to other schools that are considered well-heeled, that are considered well-resourced. So the parents believe that the child who is brighter must get better access, so they should get the first chance or the second chance at the device. So we have a lot of children who are unable, children who have access to the internet, but they're unable to get on that particular gateway because there's no access. Yes, we have many of our parents, I can tell you, Leo and Dr. Dice, that they are low income earners who struggle to send their children to school. So they find the cost of data to be very expensive. So if they do have a phone to get online, they find the cost of data to be prohibitive and to be expensive rather. They borrow Wi-Fi access. They live beside people who use Wi-Fi. The children gather in the mornings. Yes, a parent was telling me this morning that they're afraid for a lot of our children in one of the communities because they gather at a particular place. Like 30, 40 of them gather in a place just to get access to the Wi-Fi so that they can join class in the morning. We have a significant challenge with access and equity. It has been going on for decades, but COVID has really exposed us. It has exposed us as principals. It has exposed the policymakers. And I can tell you, and I'm writing an article now about it, we have to look at some policy imperatives of what education will look like post-COVID-19. It cannot be business as usual. We have more than half of children in Jamaica not able to make no access. Quite a bit of policy imperatives are coming out now. The one child to a device initiative that has been rolled out by the ministry, that's fine. But you know what I said on the weekend in a discussion I had? The distribution of tablets should have been a standard thing in education. Yes, integration of technology should be standard. What COVID has exposed, is that the system is not resilient. The system was never built to be resilient. The system was never built to handle such a pandemic of this dimension and scope. So there has to be a rethink. There has to be tremendous transformation, and it has to be aggressive. We cannot be business as usual going forward.
Darren, great.
More than half of my children are not online. We have almost numbers today. We're only engaging 557 of almost 1,000. And I worry about those who are left behind. We can't find them. And if we do find them, they don't want to be found because it is so challenging to just try to get your children. People are just trying to survive just to survive, you know. So those are some of the challenges that I feel. I have children who don't eat for days, but they try to come online. So we have to find a way. Policy has to find a way to spread.
Let me cut you for a minute. Let me cut you for a minute. 1 second, because you made a good point. I love your passion. Jesus, God. I want to know, for the people who are almost in, or are also in your particular situation, you brought up the situation about the 6 kids in the school, and you talked about, you know, how did you resolve that issue? Because that is a big.
Well, you know, it's a family dispute, you know, and I had to intervene.
Okay.
Family dispute, because I got a call that there was an issue in a family, and I called
them up, and that's the issue.
And they said, boy, I want this one to get the access to go a film class.
Right.
All right. And we said that we tried to work out something. My student got disadvantaged in it because he was not able to join class that day.
Oh, okay.
Join class the following day because he got a chance to access.
Get home and got you. That's what's important. That's important. That's very important. Yeah. Thank you for that resolution. Appreciate that so much.
Yeah. So let me see, because we're gonna come back to some of the issues, Mr. Henry. Let's get before we go back to Mr. Green, we want to highlight the presence of Principal Speed here in person. So Principal Speed, you don't need an introduction, so I'm just gonna use the term, introduce yourself in this program. Okay, go ahead, please.
I am Owen Speed. As you know, I have been around for some time in the education system, going quite a number of years. If I tell you then the exact thing, then you will actually be able to pick up my age.
I don't mind. I don't mind you tell us.
But you know, let me say greetings to all you gentlemen, Mr. Henry, colleague, principal, and Mr. Green. Is it Mr. Green, right?
Mr. Green, yes.
Am I right? Yes, from where is that? Up in the hills.
Yes.
Mavis.
Mavis.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Mr. Dice, Dr. Dice. You have been doing a fantastic job, Mr. Gilling, as well. You have been helping out our teachers tremendously, and I really do appreciate that, because, as you know, I was always saying, wearing a different hat, that I believe that we should have been training our teachers from way back then, in maybe about from April coming on. And maybe our parents need a little bit of training too, as well as the children, because they need to understand how to use these platforms. And, you know, Darian spoke passionately, and I like the word that he used. He said aggressively one of the time. We need to pursue aggressively some of these things. I've been at Rousseau Primary School for like about 12 years running, and it has been quite a challenge out there. It is an inner city school. When I took it, we had a literacy rate of below somewhere about 50%. We are hovering about 90% at this time. And for some years now, we are about 90% average literacy. And we have implemented quite a number of strategies. In fact, we have put in our assessment policies, our literacy policy, all the policies you can think about, the numeracy policy. And I have inherited quite a good set of teachers there. And the PTA is not as strong as I would like it to be. As you know, no good school is there without having a strong PTA around it. And we are happy for the support. If you look at all the schools across Jamaica, you will recognize that the very good schools, the strong schools, are the ones with the strong PTA.
Yes.
And so, you know, I've been there, and we are struggling sometimes. It's difficult to get the adequate funding for primary schools. As you know, Darian and the people in the high school sector, they get a little bit more in terms of subvention. I'm not saying that what they get is enough, because it's definitely not enough. But if you compare, for instance, the whole thing of 19,000 per student going to the high schools, and then when you do the contrast, you're having just 2,005 per student. you can understand the disparity. And so, but we are there, and at this time, looking to face COVID, we started preparing, even though I was not there at the time. I just returned in September, coming back from JTA duties. And since I've come back, we have tried to put in quite a number of things. We have put in some wash stations and so on. That is to meet them. That was to meet them physically.
Right.
What? But guess what?
What kind of challenges are you having virtually? What are they? When school opened that day, what kind of challenges you are having?
Just came out of a meeting with some grade 2 parents. Just left them to join this meeting, and they are saying to me that the Google Classroom, it is a challenge for them to get on into the Google Classroom, which is sent by the Ministry of Education. And what they are saying is that when they are about to get in to the room, it is telling them that the device, and well, they find it out for themselves that their devices are not compatible. And so they cannot get into the room. If they use Zoom, it's a little bit better for them. And so we are planning different strategies. We are planning now to do some drop-offs. It's not something that I really like, because we are in a community that is very, very close to Whitfield Town. And Whitfield Town had a serious COVID outbreak recently. And so it is a challenge even for us thinking right now. I just saw the grade 6 coordinator, and she was saying that she could drop off some paper, some printed work for the children to pick up, especially as it relates to the performance task, which is more writing, that they have to do some communication tasks and so on. And that kind of thing, they need feedback. They need direct feedback from these papers that they would do. And so that's something that we are going to embark on, but at the same time, we don't know how well it will work, because as you know, sanitization is going to be key, because you're sending these papers into these communities. And then when they come back, the teachers will have to take them and mark them and that kind of thing. So is
connectivity a problem at your school?
Yes, connectivity is a problem at my school. It is a problem in the communities surrounding the school.
Oh, okay.
Just today, well, from about 2 weeks now, we have been trying to get Digicel to come up and just to do an assessment of what is there, and then to see how best they can help us to expand that kind of bandwidth, so that we have enough connectivity. Because as it stands, we have some teachers who don't have internet connectivity at home. It's not reliable there. And even me now, I am standing outside of the house and I live on the main. I'm not living in the bushy part of St. Thomas. I am almost on the main here at Albion. And I cannot get the internet inside the house at certain times of the evening, that kind of thing. And so I can just imagine the challenges faced. But we have been online with the parents. We have been giving them some assistance with training. We call them together in Zoom meetings and so on. And we have our expert teachers who understand the platforms very well. They are training the parents, and we ask the parents to get the children beside them while the training is going on. And we also have them expertly training the teachers, because the training that they went through with the ministry, a lot of it is like crash program. So they will call you into a meeting, kind of training session, and it just lasts for 3 hours, and they expect that when you come out of that, you should have learned everything. It doesn't work like that with technology, because it's practice and more practice that's going to make you.
True, that's very true, Mr. Speed. All right, Mr. Speed, thank you so much. We're going to come back to you in a short while. Let's go over we want to hear from Mr. Green over there in Mavis Bank to see if the challenges.
Connectivity is over there.
What did that, Leo?
Connectivity is there.
You know, Leo might have a laugh in a crash program.
or if he has to climb a tree.
My Speed, you're the best, you know.
Oh, Lord.
He's talking, but we're not hearing him. I think you're muted now, Mr. Green.
Oh, you're hearing me now?
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, boy. You're talking about climbing a tree. I would prefer say climbing some mountain. Yes, for that connectivity. It is a serious problem in the hills of St. Andrew because we are almost at the foot of the Blue Mountain. Consider the sort of height that we are at. We are also close to the highest or the tallest district in the English-speaking Caribbean. That's a place called Westphalia. So you can just imagine the sort of network disconnect that we face every single day to impart knowledge and to the students. One of our main problem as well is the accessibility for the equipment, those gadgets. I will share something that happened just today. I spoke to one of my 10th grade teachers, and he told me that, sir, this morning when I was marking my register, the persons who had logged on to the network was a parent. The parents are there to secure the tablet or the phone. They just don't want to leave especially the phone with the students alone. Yes. So when the teacher asks, a parent just not answering, but when we look on the screen, is the parents who really logged in. Oh God! So last week we had our Zoom meeting for orientation, and I spoke to a lady who is a parent, and she said to me, "Sir, I only have one phone." I said, "Yes, you need to get another phone, because when it comes to assessment, the both students cannot use the same gadget, and both of them, they are in different grade levels." So as Darren mentioned earlier about the sort of equity not distributed evenly in our system, because
just go back to assessment, because that is an important, a very key problem.
Yes, the finish up that assessment aspect. Yes. For the assessment, you cannot have two students using the same device. They are from different grade levels, and even if they are from the same grade, it means that you would have to upload your information separately to the system. Oh. So that creates a problem. Okay. Now, most of the over 60% of the students in that area really and truly just have to use data. So you put on a $500 data for this class. It really don't last any time. It's not like Darien area, that has connectivity around, and they gather, and they are able to gather as a group. We just cannot gather because we really don't have that sort of system. Yes. Right? So it's really a problem for us in the hills. Since we started last week, well, we're able to reach just over 40% of our students online. Oh. Wow. Yeah, the alternate now is really to look at the drop-off method, which we are not so keen with that as well, because the transmission of the virus from paper touching to receiving those paper, it's critical. So our grave problem is the connectivity and also availability of equipment to do teaching and learning. And also, most of our students, they are from a farming background. Oh. We have students all the way from like Augustown. And I don't want to call it the area at the Priv, but those areas are below the socio-economic stability. So it's really a problem. You see, so we really
long term.
Pardon me?
It's long term. It's gonna affect them
long term. It's long term. And it's all because of the location at the school. But we are there. We are helping to better our education system. But guess what? We need an intervention now to correct this system. As we talk about equity,
yes,
equity is what we really need as well.
Yeah.
Albert, you have some serious problems, but let me ask you this. What has gone through your head as a vice principal for solving, let's say you don't get any device, and we know about the COVID and the touching of the paper. What else have you come up with that seemed feasible? Because I saw, for example, I was watching something on Facebook the other day, and I saw a young man open up a center. What do you call it?
Homework center.
Yes, a community center. It was there, and he says, I want to put chairs 8 feet apart, and they can come and sit down. But he has like security guards, people that make sure that they're sitting and they're working. I mean, that's one solution, but I don't know if it's advisable, because it probably goes against what the government wants. But what else that goes through your mind? Let's explore that. What are some of the things that go through your mind? Because it look like we have no other way.
The things that flow through my mind just now, Sir Edward, is that
that's Leo Gilling.
If we are to follow, pardon me?
Leo Gilling.
Yes, Leo. Leo Gilling. If we are to follow the government guideline for this protracted time, it means that a lot of our students in Mavis Bank will be left behind. Even if we make arrangement with the churches to get some form of connectivity to the church, it would still be a face-to-face. The real problem is the connectivity. The connectivity. So the drop-off point, the drop-off point is one of the closest thing to us right now. And what we're also doing, we are interacting with the parents to buy into the new modality of transmitting education to the students, and the importance of, listen, you must pay attention to this now.
Yeah.
It's not a tomorrow thing, it's a now thing.
What are some of the drop-off points that you use physically? And tell me about that.
Okay, there's a community close to the Garden Town area. A community, I think it named some I don't remember the name of the community, but no electricity is there. We have students up there.
So you use a church? You use a church? What do you use?
We use the police station.
Police station. Oh, yes. There you go.
The police station is in Garden Town there.
Okay.
So those yes. And we have some other students from the August Town. We have 2 students from August Town. So we are now planning to use the Papine police station.
There's another suggestion that I saw where some parents who have good internet in their homes are saying, kids, just come on the outside of the house, stay far from each other, and use and access my internet. Is that a suggestion?
Yeah, but that's where they have the connectivity.
Oh.
They can afford to do that. What I'm saying is that the level of connectivity is just not accessible.
Okay.
In most of the areas.
All right, I got you.
So we really faced with
challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
We hear the challenges. Leah, you have another question? Or
no. I want to go on.
All right. So
just before you go to that point, and I really appreciate the kind of information coming out, because school administrators have different circumstances, so the challenges will be differing in the context.
Absolutely.
One of the things, and I really have to point it out in this particular forum, we have a lot of parents who struggle with literacy, and they struggle to understand the modalities of the platform that we're using. They are very frustrated. They take out the frustration on the teachers. They take out the frustration on their own children. Yes, they'll call me and say, listen, no class now go on. And when I check the virtual classroom, the classes are in session and they're going on, but they don't understand. We have a lot of children who have learning challenges, who are dyslexic. People don't understand. When children are dyslexic, when they see words, they see things totally different from
parents can't help.
Who commands literacy. Yes, so these are children who are struggling in the online environment. As I'm saying, and I made a point very passionately that the education system has to be turned over right now. We should not be at a point where we are struggling to find out where the students are and so on. Had we been calibrating the system for years, we would have been ready for COVID long time. Yes. Yeah. If we have parents who can't understand Google Classroom, then what then?
Well, I must tell you this, Darren, that sometimes we have some good kids come out of homes where parents can't read, and but what happened is that teachers do a darn good job of bringing them, But I really hear you. I hear the challenge of child who has a parent or two parents who really don't know their ABCs, and what happens then, they can't go online and they can't help them to you talk about dyslexic. How do they identify who's dyslexic and what do they do?
Absolutely. So in other words, and I hear Principal Speed talking about the parents who have a challenge downloading the newest form of and so on. Yeah. That's one sect of parents.
Yes.
There's another sect of families where parents have challenges reading, children have challenges reading. Yes. We're gonna have to find a way to stem this thing about children just being conveyed through the system. Children reach high school and can't read and so on. High school principals, they spend upwards of 3 to 4 years trying to recalibrate children. Yes, by the time they reach fifth form, they're just reading at grade 6 or grade 7. We're going to have to find a way to fix it.
You make that sound really bad, but it is true.
Listen, I'm just giving you the unadulterated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Principal Speed.
As a high school principal, I'm telling you what I'm facing with. I have 191 PEP students, the primary exit profile students who came just September. 191. Of that number, 60% of the students are reading below grade 2.
Yeah.
60% of my grade 7 students are reading below grade 2.
Hold on. Question. Hold on. Was there any plan for remediation upon return to school, or we were just rolling along?
No. There would have always had to be a strong remedial program.
Okay.
No, man, that's not the point,
Okay, all right. I just want to know.
A broader issue about dysfunctional children who have functionalities in learning, who are conveyed through the system.
Yes.
Leaving the system and falling through the cracks and can't read and they can't write and they're not functional any at all. If we are supposed to be a society, if we're supposed to be a country that we are functional and we are economically independent, we cannot have 60% of children coming into a high school who are reading at barely grade 2 and grade 3 who are pathways.
That's bad. That's very bad.
Convey them through the system. Those days should be over. We ought to be turning policy on its head right now. Now as we speak.
Mr. Speed, you have to save Darren right now because it's like he's ready to get a heart attack or something like that. I mean, understand.
I'm having a heart attack, but it's a serious situation.
It's dire. Mr. Speed,
I think Mr. Speed is having trouble there.
I think Darren.
Okay. I was gonna go to him.
Wait, Leo, he's talking.
I've been saying some of these things year in, year out. I've been saying some of these same things. I believe that we need to seriously at how we improve education at the early childhood level. When those children leave the early childhood institution, they are ready for instruction at the primary level. And we need to fix.
Wait, he's gone. I think he's gone.
I so appreciate
he's saying that at the primary level, they really need some remediation.
And we need to fix it at the primary level as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that when the children leave primary school and head into high school, they are ready for instruction at the secondary level. It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
If we can't fix it like that, because when the children reach the high school level, they should be almost ready to sit the CSEC exam.
Yes.
I mean, why is it that we are having so many children coming out? There is no form of early diagnosis, and then there's no form of early intervention. We need more specialists at the primary level. We need more specialists at the early childhood level, so that the foundation is laid.
Mr. Speed, what I really wanted to hear, was because we are in a fix right now, right? We're in a fix right now. And I know what we needed before COVID and stuff, but COVID threw us, as you hear Darren spoke a while ago, that it puts us in it float, all of the bad things them float up on top. The good things them float up too, but the bad things them really make it look bad. It threw us back in 1940, right? So how do we get out of this fix here? Or what is it that we need to start thinking? Because it look like we can only think 1 week ahead. We can't plan for a year ahead. We can only plan 1 week ahead. What is it that we need to do now?
And Leo, that's the challenge that we face. Because when we speak of only what is going to happen in the short term.
Yes.
And we have been doing that repeatedly for like decades.
Long time.
Oh.
And that is what needs to change. We need an overhaul of the education system and placement of children. I hear people talk about all sorts of how we should place them and that kind of thing. But if they are not ready anywhere you place them, you're going to have challenges.
Right.
Tell them, Mr. Speed, tell them it's true.
so moving forward, because we highlight a few things. We highlight the challenges, and we highlight a few strategies that you're using to reach students. We have even talked about how we're going to make up for the ones who have been left behind academically. Okay.
Remediation is a must.
Strong remediation program.
It's strong,
like for an exact year. Just remediation and get the children back on track. We're almost on the verge of losing a generation, So I know you're going to your point, Dr. Dice, but I was telling my team today, my team of alternative pathway coaches and literacy specialists, that listen, in 30 and 40 years when I'm retired from the system, we have to be careful of what kind of society we're leaving back, out of this COVID thing, So if we are not careful, we're going to find ourselves in a dysfunctional society. So that's why we have to move with urgency from now. Get a strong remediation program across the system, shut down the system and pick them back to strong remediation. COVID going gone one day, COVID is going to go one day. And Mr. Speed is right about that. We disagree on a lot of things, but I must agree with him on the point. We are too short-term in our policy perspective now and our policy oversight. We should be long-term. We should be visionary with our policy. The philosophy has to be straightened out properly. Why children leave early childhood institution into high school can't read. Policy should up that.
One of the big things that we're tackling in the education task force from the diaspora is to look at these issues from early childhood and see if we can do something about it in terms of literacy and numeracy. Okay, there is one thing I want to ask you guys to reflect on though in the next couple of minutes. We talk about reaching parents and we talk about dropping off and so on. Have we reached out to organizations apart from partnering with parents and church and the police and so on? Have we reached out to organizations anywhere, even outside of Jamaica, to get some assistance, anything at all?
Well, let me reach out right now. I need 500 tablets right now to distribute to my children. So wherever you are in the world, Arian Henry Principal, Cumberland High School, I need 500 tablets right now. It's an emergency. I need it right now.
Albert,
same here, Leo. at Mavisbank High School, we need tablets. We need tablets. We have 520 students enrolled. And part of the problem for reaching them with the information, except for the connectivity, is the tablets for them to access education. We need that like now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I hope people are listening across the diaspora. They must can do something.
So Spade, you want to say the same thing, you see, get ready.
But you couldn't allow this program to finish and I didn't get to see. I have 1,100. I have 1,100. And I have sent out an SOS so far. I have only gotten 20. Well, I have gotten 20 tablets.
Well, that's good.
Only because, but for some children, the poorer set of children and so on. But I'm going to get more aggressive over the next few weeks because we need to have some more tablets. Because quite frankly, I don't know how long this pandemic is going to last. We are seeing what the numbers are saying, and they are not saying anything good to us. When you look at the number of deaths and so on, it is frightening, and it is very close to almost every community in Jamaica now. So I don't know when it will be over. So we need the tablets. We need to call out the internet service providers and to say to them that they need to invest in it, because it doesn't make sense. We have the pretty tablets and we have all the training that the teacher may get and the parents may get to use these devices, and then you don't have any connectivity.
How far are we from broadbanding the entire island? Anybody knows?
I'm
just asking.
Leo. We are about 50%.
Yes.
What I want to say, Leo and Dr. Dice colleagues, what I want to say is maybe that we should give China the contract to just come in and fit up the place with internet. And maybe it will be done in 2 weeks.
No, but Speed, you know the geopolitical issues around that.
It doesn't have to be China, you know. I just say.
Okay.
For example.
Okay. And you can't use Huawei either because you know the geopolitical issues around that.
But I'm saying though that the government and the internet service, well, they need to maybe issue some licenses or calling people with their proposals and so on from different countries. They need to do the research. I am not the one who is supposed to do that research for them, and get the people on board so that we can expand the bandwidth, because that is a serious problem.
All right. Do you think that right now the most important thing for the government is to broadband our country? The most important thing.
Yes.
There's nothing else that's important because we have to plan for our future. Is that true, Albert?
Yes.
Yes, Leo.
Because
if we have that level of connectivity,
access issues, it will improve vastly improve the access issues. So for me, it has to be a two-pronged approach. So the broadband connectivity has to get significant attention. And while treating with that, you get the devices in the hands of the children in the utmost parts of the country, in the dense urban areas as well, because the problem is not only in some areas, it's across the span of our country.
Okay.
So you have a build out of the broadband, and while at the same time you get the devices to the hands of every child. So at least this thing about broadcasting lessons, I've been taught when I saw that. When I just entered teaching, and we're in a discussion at Micah. Micah's a good school. Yeah, and I spoke about broadcasting lessons to be a mainstream part of teaching and learning. People laugh after me like a scorn. And now I'm seeing it as part of the strategy of the Ministry of Education. And I laugh to myself. I see the schedules and so on. Our young people don't watch TV, you know. because they were not calibrated that way. We have the TikTok generation, we have the Instagram generation, we have the Facebook generation, and we have the Snapchat generation. Why can't we use policy to calibrate social media in such a way to curate and calibrate lessons and get these things across to the children in their space? The children don't watch TV, you know. It's
all right. So okay, I want
the survey says it.
I want the people to know though. I want the people to know, because we just throw it out. Why is broadband the most important thing the government should do right now?
It is. It's like water. It's like water. You need it.
It's to reach.
It's about access. You know, it's all about
to connect.
When we talk about access, you know, I don't want us to water it down. You know, access is like air that we breathe right now. Because as Principal Speed brilliantly said it, we don't know if we're going to get back to face-to-face, say for instance in January. We don't even know, because we have rising numbers of cases, yes, rising numbers of death. We have been watching, I'm watching Fox News right now, they're talking about an explosion in cases in diverse parts of Europe, North America, and so on. We don't know. Yeah. So right now, we have to be thinking in a different dimension. How do we build out the broadband, and how do we get the tablets to the children? How do we build capacity with our teachers? Because those are two parts. But how do we build the capacity of our teachers? We need to move from a point in our country where we see our teachers as beating sticks. Yes, Owen Speed got a lot of beating because of that, you know. Yes, but we need to reach the point where our teachers are the ambassadors. They are the crusaders right now. They're the saviors right now of the country. You know, we teachers are the saviors.
True. That's very true.
Yes.
That's very, very true.
I don't want to leave Albert out. So Albert, you can answer my question too.
Yes, just as Darian said, we must get aggressive in this situation right now, because for the past seven months, I can assure Jamaica that the education system is on the back pathway for those students, because our students are not the brightest in the society. And as a result of lack of the basic amenities, basic equipment, just every single thing, that's what hampers the education system. And if we just get the policymaker to listen, to see what is happening out there. Darian a while ago said he's watching something on Fox News and say there are countries right now going back into a second lockdown. In Jamaica, we don't know when we will be back in school. So it means that we must put the system in place to provide for our education system and our educators.
Our future, our country's future, right? Yes.
It's not just for tomorrow. It's from the onward. And I know that with proper planning and executing all of these plans, we can have this thing work for Jamaica. So we are bawling out again. Help needed in our system to save Jamaica education system. It means that all stakeholders, all hands on deck.
Okay.
Yes. Mr. Speed.
Mr. Speed.
Yes.
Yes, your 2 cents in. Because after you went back in the school.
The truth is, you know, that I have, one of my dreams was to have JTA come in with what you call an internet radio. And you know, with the intention of expanding that so that we could put on different parts to that. So we'd start with radio, and then the television aspect of it would come in. At this time, we would have been broadcasting lessons too. And that was one of the things I wanted. I'm pleased to inform you, though, that our new president has put it on his mandate. So, you know, it's not just shelved. And because that's the way to go, we have to find different ways to supplement what we have as traditional methods. And that is something that we have to look at in a very serious way. But, you know, if you could remember me, you know, my saying from March, April, that I think we needed to shelf the emergency response teaching for a little while and just set up the systems. Because if there was ever even just one more spike after May or so, we would have been in trouble reopening school. I said that many times. I got a lot of lashing for it, but I'm not afraid of lashing over my back. I mean, you know the Little John song, right, Leo?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Over my back, Little John. But the truth is, we need to be radical, and some of it is not even being radical, but just using straight common sense.
Common sense.
Yeah, it's common sense. So moving forward, we really need it's not really just policies, but where we can find the help on the ground, you know, because getting the right people, and I'm reaching out. I'm very glad. We're very happy to have you principals and assistant principal on the program tonight. You know, we're gonna follow up with you, all of you, in the coming weeks to see how things are going.
With the tablets, Cumberland need tablets. One Cumberland.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, Mr. Henry.
You can email me, DarianHenry@gmail.com. 500 tablets in the name of Jesus. Amen.
One more time, your email address.
DarianHenry@gmail.com, DarianHenry@gmail.com, and my contact number 876-276-5999. 500 tablets in the name of Jesus. Thank you.
You're appealing to any past student of, especially your past students of Cumberland too, right?
Those well-heeled members of the diaspora.
Diaspora, okay, all right. Just checking.
Yeah.
Reach out to me and I am urgently. It's an urgent plea.
Yes. All right, go ahead, Darren. Go ahead, Albert.
I am also appealing to the diaspora for some tablets for the Mavis Bank High School. My email is burlygren@yahoo.com. Burley Green 428-2051. That's my contact. 876-428-2051.
You have give me your email address again.
burlygren@yahoo.com.
All right, great. And
help needed. Some tablets. We have 520 students enrolled, and more than 60% of them cannot afford a tablet, a learning device. I am appealing.
All right. Yeah. Last week, Oil Speed.
It's so bad.
Yes, President.
It's so bad.
The speed.
That. Oh, you're hearing me now?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yes.
Just can't see you.
You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
You hear me now? You hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we're hearing.
Go ahead,
very
Mr.
bad here. Connection is very bad, but I just want to add that my email address is speedowen@yahoo, which is SPEIDOWEN, one word. And we need tablets out there at Russell Primary. We know we have some good people out there in the diaspora who are past students of Russell Primary. And just anybody can come on board and support the cause.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Speed. Mr. Henry, we'll follow up with you, and Mr.
Please.
Green. Yes.
Please.
Yes, Dr. Rice.
And of course, Mr. Speed, you're always with us. Yes.
It's really nice to meet both of you, that Albert and Darian. I know Mr. Speed long time, but I loved you guys energy. I love the energy. I like that when the show has energy, more people watch it, and I love you guys' energy. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We know the need is very great, and we want people around our diaspora across the globe to do something about it, because they're people, and we're appealing to people who have more than others. And now is the time that you share. You can't keep everything for yourself. It's the time that we have now to share across country borders, across towns, across cities. So we really need some brothers and sisters to step up to the plate and help each other. That's what we need across the diaspora.
Mr. Speed, what's the name of your school again?
Rousseau.
Okay. So I am doing the appealing now. I am appealing to every member of the diaspora for Cumberland High School, for Mavis Bank High School, and we forgot the one.
Rousseau.
and Rousseau Primary, right?
Yes.
Rousseau Primary?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Rousseau Primary. If you know that, if you know God, anyone at the school there, reach out. You know, have more investment in these schools. The people who went to these schools, you want to listen, please reach out. And these gentlemen have done a wonderful job of making their cases tonight. And I believe that Jamaica needs you right now. So please go ahead and reach out to these principals, Rousseau, Cumberland, and Mavis Bank High School. All right?
Yes.
Take it away, sir.
All right, we're going to sign off. Guys, everybody, thank you for watching. I should say a special thank you to Ms. Kimon Gooden, our technical director here in JD Network, as well as Miss Tamashella Smith, who is the principal over there somewhere in Mavis Bank. I can't remember which school now.
Mount Fletcher.
She's the personnel director.
Mount Fletcher
Primary.
Mount Fletcher Primary. Tamashella,
yes,
you're awesome over there. Thank you so much. She's our partner in the education task force in leadership here. So we're very grateful to have her on. I never thank her publicly, but she doesn't really like to go public. Go in public, and then please don't send me any messages. Okay.
All right.
Thank
you guys.
You so much.
Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
We'll talk again.
Thank you.
All right. Great.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.
This is Leo Gilling and Dr. Dwayne Dice wrapping up the Leo Gilling Show on EduTalk on the Leo Gilling Show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.